Hello, I'm Nicole, and I'm a writer who has 2 romance novels in the works currently. I'm still in the writing stage for them, and I also work a full-time office job. I'll be honest, I struggle to make/find the time to write and to work on my novels and work on other creative projects. So today, let's sit down together and make plans for the month ahead to figure out how I can write more and get more creative projects done. In general, I would say I am more of a pantser when it comes to most things. I don't really like to plan. Not always making plans to write, just kind of telling myself that I'll write when inspiration strikes me, but I'm sure, as you know, if you're a fellow writer, inspiration doesn't always strike, or maybe it strikes when we don't have time to write at all. And I have found the most success with doing writing when I actually make a plan and commit to myself to write, whether that's doing a writing challenge or sometimes even when I'm filming a writing vlog. I know that I'm gonna be committing to writing during the duration of filming, or I'm gonna be committed to writing to completing a challenge, and outside of that, it's really difficult for me to make sure that I stay consistent with my writing and continue to write. And if you've been following along with my journey, you know that since the beginning of this year, I've kind of been back and forth on a whole bunch of different writing projects, but I haven't really stuck to anything in particular, which I think is okay because I'm getting writing done. I'm just not doing, I guess, as much as I would like or making as much progress on the things that I have going on for me, and I want to change that in the month of October. I also know that November is just around the corner, and as you know, in the past I've done NaNoWriMo. This year, I don't think I will be participating in NaNoWriMo. A lot of stuff has come out about the organization and the things that they support, especially with everything that came out last year. I just don't agree with it, and I will not be supporting it this year. I probably will not be supporting it going further unless there are some really major changes made. But all that to say, I still plan on doing a major writing challenge in November, so I don't want to go too hard with my writing in October and burn out when it comes time to do a big challenge in November. I'll tell you more about that challenge later. For now, my plan to plan ahead for October is to make a list, just like brain dump everything that I want to accomplish in October here, and then I'm going to take those big goals and kind of refine them into smaller bits and pieces. So I'm gonna make that list now and then check in with you in a bit. So I wrote down the major goals that I want to accomplish in October, at least in terms of creative things, and then I broke them down into more bite-sized chunks. For my major goals, I wrote that I want to write/rewrite 3 chapters of my Forest book, which is my second novel that I'd like to work a lot more on. And the second one is to complete the writing group Halloween story. Me and 2 other friends meet almost every week over a little phone call to discuss our writing plans or to write together or just give each other advice or feedback on what we're currently working on. And we came up with the fun idea for October to write a Halloween story each. We thought it would just be fun to write a story of any length that we want to and give ourselves a prompt. So we came up with the prompt of having the main character of the story encounter some sort of Halloween creature. So things like vampires, werewolves, ghosts, anything kind of supernatural or not real. It can be any genre, anything you want. Just follow the prompt and write as much or as little as you want, and then we're probably going to share these stories with each other kind of halfway through October if we want to, and then get feedback. And then probably if we do have a writers meeting the week of Halloween, we'll do like a fun read to each other of it. I'm really excited for that, and I think it'll be a nice way to keep writing fresh outside of our current projects. So that's a big goal that I have to make sure I get that done. And then another creative goal is to post 3 videos in the month of October. I think it'll be doable for me. There was a point in time when I was quite consistent with posting on YouTube, but also with juggling everyday life and work and other creative stuff I wanted to work on. I found myself getting really burnt out by trying to do that. And since then, I don't think I've really consistently posted. I'll post a few videos here and there, and then I disappear for a few weeks and then come back. But I would really like to post a minimum of 3 videos in this month. I do have some in the works already, this one included. So I'd like to make sure I make time for that and plan ahead. And for the last one is to make a plan for November. As I mentioned, I will be doing a November writing challenge, and it's probably going to still be 50,000 words, trying to write 50,000 words in November. But right now, I think in all likelihood, it will be 50,000 words of a rewrite of my forest book, which was something that I wrote most of the first draft in last November, and I never finished that first draft, and I've kind of just moved on to, I guess, what you would call a second draft of it. I've got lots of other videos about that book up if you want to check those out to learn more. But yeah, those are the 4 major plans I've written down, at least for creative goals, and then I've written smaller little chunks on how I can achieve them. As an example, for the write/rewrite 3 chapters, I wrote that I want to write 1 chapter per week-ish, and to schedule 3 20-minute writing sessions per week, do a 1-hour writing session on the weekends. And I think that's really doable for me. I tend to spend a lot of time on my phone in the mornings when that time could be spent doing something a lot more productive. And on the days where I'm not working out in the morning, I'd like to put that extra time towards other creative things. So that also kind of ties into me posting 3 videos. I wrote down a list of video ideas I have for the 3 upcoming videos. And then I also want to make sure that I schedule time to edit them in the week and to also maybe put in some extra time on the weekends. As for the Halloween story creation for the smaller bite-sized goals, I wrote down that I want to make the plot by the end of the first week. I've had lots of ideas popping up since we first discussed this idea, I think like back at the start of September, but I haven't committed to any yet, and I'm pretty sure my friends have already committed to their ideas. I just haven't committed to anything yet, but by the end of the first week of October, I want to commit to an idea. And then I want to also try to start writing the first draft over the first week, so that'll also tie in with the writing sessions. I am going to prioritize the Halloween story first above the chapters because I know there's going to be so much writing happening in November, and the Halloween story will only exist in October. I also wrote down Twine, question mark. Twine is a web-based, I don't know if you would call it a game creator, but I know it's like a story making tool that can help you make branching stories. Because I've also been kind of playing with the idea of maybe making my Halloween story into something that can give the reader some options, like a choose your own adventure, but without all the images that a visual novel would give you. So just also something I want to solidify by the end of the first week. And then I also wrote down to have fun, because this is overall meant to be a fun little thing to do in the month of October. If you're a writer, when it comes to making plans, do you make plans to write, or do you just kind of, I don't know, tell yourself that you're gonna write in a day? I'm curious to know what other people do, because I can go a very long time without writing or doing creative projects and just getting swept up in day-to-day life and not taking the time to actually pursue what I want to do. And I hope I'm not alone in that, but please feel free to share how you plan for your writing down in the comments below. So now that I've written down all of my little bite-sized goals, I'm going to take out my planner and start putting some of these down to dates so I actually stay accountable with them and can check things off. If you're curious, this is a Hobonichi Weeks, which I got partway through this current year. So a whole bunch of it is not being used. I just learned about their whole system this year and I was so intrigued. I went and bought one online, and I have to say that the weeks one has been working amazingly for me for work. I love how it's got one side of dates and then the other side is just blank, so you can put a checklist, and for work it's been really great. I've been able to get all my tasks done on one side, and then writing down anything important that's happening on the week over here. But for everyday, day-to-day life, I actually totally missed writing for the whole month of September. So I guess that's another mini goal. I'd like to change that by being able to use this in the month of October. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a schedule for myself for my writing, which is something I don't really do, but I'm also gonna make sure I set an alarm on my phone to actually look at my planner every single day, because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind for me. So that's done. At least for the first 2 weeks, I have put in times where I know I will either have the mornings or the evenings free to get in some writing or some video editing. So I've written those down as my tasks. And at the end of the second week, I've put in a little note to plan the rest of my writing/video editing sessions to make sure I do that, because I don't actually know everything that's going to pop up in the second half of the month. I have a pretty good idea of kind of what my plans are, like outside of creative stuff, with work and with friends and with family, but I don't know, things are always popping up, but I want to make sure I give myself some flexibility when it comes to this. I think I'm also going to make sure as time goes on that I continue to check in with my planner here and continue to check in with the goals that I make to stay consistent over this next month. And to also make sure that I keep meeting my goals fun and something that remains interesting to my brain so I don't get bored of it, is to continue to use colors and fun stickers to check off when I meet my little goals for the week. And I'll probably do a little bit of journaling in the sidebars here to just kind of keep track of how I'm feeling each day working towards my goals, if I was able to do it, if I was feeling bad about it. I journal in general outside of my planner, but sometimes it's just fun to write down my little daily thoughts in here. So that's what I'll be doing in this month ahead. Thank you for stopping by and spending this little bit of time with me while I get my planning done, and I guess sort of in a way give you an update on where I've been for the past couple of weeks. It would be really helpful to me if you felt comfortable sharing how your writing progress is going or how you kind of deal with staying creative. It's at least been a struggle for me to find balance and to kind of not swing too hard in one direction or the other and just maintaining life as is. But I also know that sometimes when things are hard, it's good to just get through the day, get through your life as usual so you can be creative another time, if that makes sense. But also I know that in the past couple of weeks, months, etc., I've been missing being creative and working on videos or writing and actually really getting involved in it. And I find that sometimes having a little bit of structure can go a long way. So I'm really excited to see where this planning gets me in the month of October. Thank you again for being here, and if you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot if you left me a like to let me know that you enjoyed it, or leave me a comment down below to say hi. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I make other videos about writing, vlogs about my daily life, and just other fun creative projects, and I would love to see you around. And I hope by posting this video, it helps hold me accountable for making sure that I stay true to my creative goals. And I hope that it can inspire you to do something creative or make some goals for yourself if you feel like that will help you. Thank you so much for watching and for being here, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!